Well folks, for those of you with the repairs in, this is repair number 11. It's a TTI TCB881. We've not done one of these before. I've seen one before. Shall I say we've not done a video of one before. And he's also done a copy of the service manual for me to keep. So that should help. We'll get those in order and collated and whatever, and spiral bound. Now, before I start with this, our friend Mark G7NDJ bought one of these, which was, what are these, about 2012? I mean, they're probably available new old stock right now, but they are about 2012. And he bought this one second hand. I think it was what they call a silent key sale when somebody's passed away. And it was so microphonic, it was unusable. And microphony, we thought we'd be rid of when valves went. Americans' thermionic tubes. And that's when and the innards actually transmits that. So I'm hoping there's no recovering from that. So what we've done with some of the TTI sets we've bought new is we've sprayed them with conformal coating, like a varnish, usually for tropicalization reasons, so that doesn't happen, because it's ingress of moisture from the environment which causes it, especially into the ceramic surface mount capacitors. You know, you can't really be changing those kind of parts. Well, we can't be changing those kind of parts. There will be some people out there who can, but at my age I'm not going to start buying hot gas rework stations and things, because these kind of sets are cheaper than the older kind of sets, which are more repairable. So I hope this isn't microphonic. I will look at his notes, which I haven't got here. So yeah. So I think what we'll do, we're going to have to crocodile clip that to our connector. Power it up. I'm going to power it up on full 13.8 volts at 1.6 amps, because it's not some set which has come from a jumble sale. Yeah, I like it when they actually say PA like that. I wonder how we get out of that. How do we get it out of... Oh, it's there. Channel's there. Right. So we'll plug it into the test equipment. And we'll probably find an old bill from RS. Oh, it's going to be on and off all day, is it? That was the worst, as the hymns are having at a wedding a few weeks ago. Right, let's put some test gear on. The test set's already been on half an hour, so if there's any frequency, if there's any frequency you can adjust. How do we get this to go in? The indent is at the top, and straight away we can hear bit of a noisy volume control for a newish set. Right, are we ready? TTI transmit, and it's doing 3 watts. Frequency no, I'm not on channel 20, am I? So it's virtually spot on. It should be 27. It should be 79125. So if it's adjustable, we can adjust it a little bit, but it won't make any difference to the outcome. Deviation depends whether it's been adjusted or whether it's still the 1.4 it came out of the factory doing. Wallow, it's actually being adjusted. So it's 2.2 kilohertz, which is fair enough and probably as far as it goes. We usually try and get them a little bit higher, so it's 2.2 to 2.5 peak. But I didn't show you that. I've got it on the wrong. I haven't even got picture-in-picture on. Okay, let's start again. Transmit 3 watts. That's my 3 watt scale. It's full scale deflection. Frequency 79101 toggling 2. Deviation. Go back to the camera. 1. Wallow. 1. Actually, it is doing 2.2 to 2.5. That's correct. And we can hear it receiving. If I can find the volume. So that's. Let's take the tone off. Well, that one doesn't seem to have gone microphonic. Right, tone back on. And we'll look at the synod meter. I would expect this to be I'm going to adjust it. I can't remember how to put the presets in on the camera positions, and the Fidelity 1000 that camera 4's propped up on must have moved. Must have been my elephant footsteps. Mind you, we've got concrete floors here, but there you go. Or the trains which run on down the road 200 yards away. What are we doing? Yes, we're doing sensitivity, and there's our 12 point, and the radio's doing 0.79. So I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to look at the notes, because I don't actually know what it's in for. It's probably just in for optimisation, but there may be some fault I've forgotten because it's been in so long. Right, we start with the VCO, and the test point is just there. It says so. I will assume this is a negative chassis and not a floating chassis. I can prove that by putting my negative probe on the chassis and the positive to the positive lead as it comes in the radio. I don't think we're going to have many floating chassis these days, because I think the years of positive earth cars are over, unless you all have more automotive experience than I have, which wouldn't be difficult. So yes, you can adjust the frequency. It's a fiberglass construction, and I just moved the volume control inadvertently. The subboard says DSC, so is that digital squelch or whatever? Yes, it looks like it. So what we have to do is put the radio on 26.956 megs. How do we do that? So I suppose that's putting into EU. So any clues? Now here's the first stumbling block. If he wants this on 80 channel operation, we've got to get this go we're going to have to reset it, aren't we, for CPT. Right, so I'm going to have to either find my own set, which may not be possible, or find an online copy of the instruction book so I know how to change bands. I'll just go back in the box in case the instruction book is in there. No. So we've got the instruction book on file and I was able to print off the appropriate page. So what do we do? Pressing AM, FM and scan at the same time turn on the transceiver. So I better turn it off. So AM and FM and scan together, turn it on. There we go. And then what do we do? Do we use the channel? No, it's gone out of it. You've got a limited time, obviously. Oh dear, I can't read the next bit of the instruction. Or in my memory, I can't remember a second instruction. Try again. EU, that'll do nicely. Then what do you do? Press the AM/FM button. Good. I don't know whether he's going to use AM in EU mode, but we'd better do that. So we need to select channel 1. It's 965, isn't it? It's an error. Channel 1 of CPT is 26965. They've got 956. So I wonder I've got a confused look on my face. Typing error. So we're now in EU channel 1. When I key up, it should be 26965. I'll tell you what, we'll put picture in picture back on for a moment, so you all know I'm on 2696481. I'll tell you what, we'll just trim that. How about that? So, in receive mode, what's the VCO? It should be between 1.5 and 2, and it's at 1.85, so that's absolutely perfect. If it wasn't, we'd adjust L301, which I expect is that Waxfield one there. It is. Now we're going to transmit, see what the voltage is now. 1.7. It should be between 1.5 and 2. So that's spot on. Well, that's page 1 done. How many pages of this are there? 5. We're 20% of the way through it. Especially as it's single-sided printing. So, transmit first, which is absolutely how I was always trained to do two-way radio. So we'll put the little multimeter away. I'm getting used to that now, having put the Aldi multimeter in the chapel where we're doing the organ. Not that we need the meter on a 1865 pipe organ, it's just that I was doing that HMV stereo master in there. It was the only room we'd got. Oh, right. RF power adjustment. So, they want you to do this. Now, they say do this on channel 19, but that, of course, is flawed because we're going to do this in the centre of the band, and that centre of the band is channel 40 of EU or channel 1 of UK. So, we'll pop this onto channel 40, just like that. And it's L302. 701, 702, 703. So that was the VCO, and here's our transmit ones. So is picture in picture on? Yep. Is the right meter on? Yes. So that's our 3 watt. That was already optimum. Already optimum. Power's dropping because it's getting hot. So they were all set to peak. So then it says adjust the frequency with CT302. We've already done that. And then they want you to do AM modulation next. Are you telling me that it doesn't have an overall power setting? Talk about the APC, does it? I'll bring that meter back. .7 on the 13 volt rail. So does APC alter that? Just press transmit. So that is on full, and that's our 3 watts. This isn't untypical of new sets. Remember, the meter I'm using is a commercial radio telephone test set, which is selective, so you know, on a hobby meter this is going to read a lot more power than what I'm reading on it, and this is always the case. Sets I say are 4 watts, maybe 5.5 watts on a hobby meter, but if you were inspected by a government inspector, they'll be inspecting it on something like this. Well, a newer one obviously, but you know, so take it with a pinch of salt what I tell you about 3 watts, because we've got radio ham watts, good buddy watts, real watts, all kinds of watts. and 49 meg kiddie walkie-talkie watts, which say range up to quarter of a mile. Anything, by the way, here's today's bit of useless information. Anything that says maximum range, it means it's sea. So don't you think, oh, well, that park's quarter of a mile long, it's nice and open, so if matey goes to that quarter of a mile point, we'll be up to quarter. No, it doesn't work like that, it's at sea. so it's probably 50 yards on land. Right, so that's the transmit done. That's the frequency done, and now they want us to do the AM modulation. Can't speak. So we're now in AM. This time I'm going to set it to channel 20 because you can't. You can only do AM on the CPT set of channels. So we'll do it. Make sure it's correct in the centre of the band. And that's basically what they say. They say do it on channel 19. Well, we're doing it on channel 20. So we'll go into that. Switch my test set to AM. Now we're going to have to retune it because it's manually tuned, this modulation meter. Oh, here we go. Unplug the extension speaker. And that should now be indicating wallow, wallow, wallow. It's 85%, and that's what really they're calling for. See if we can do it a bit more. Wallow. So we just need to pop that up a fraction. So like I would with FM, I'll get my little test oscillator out. Wallow. There we go. That's brought it up to 90%. So that's page 2 done. This manual is quite good because it tells you how to, if you've got individual test equipment, it does tell you how to connect it up. I would think there will be some electronics engineers who are properly qualified electronics engineers but don't have much RF experience, and so that's where this comes in. So now they want you to do the FM deviation. Now this is where we'll go to channel 40, so it's in the middle of the two bands, and switch to FM, retune the test equipment, putting it into FM, wallow, wallow, and it was already correct. It was 2.2 wallow, wallow. It is correct. I'd probably give him a fraction more, just if it does it. Let's have a look. It's got a bit of a funny AGC, so we'll just adjust that to there. No, it's over the top, that. Wallow. That's it. We're done. And then they have you adjust the signal meter. So it's a real one on these sets. We keep getting questions about when they've got their aerial connected, the radio only says 1 watt, or it says 7 watts on the meter on the front. It doesn't mean diddly squat. These are set. Tell you what, we'll plug the aerial in. I'll do a demonstration here and now in the middle of this tune-up. So we're just going to adjust the TX meter, and it's RV571. I'll just find that first. TXS meter it calls it. It's the back one there. So when we key up at the moment, let's see what we get. So it says 4. Right. I'm going to unplug the test equipment, which has a dummy load in it. Dummy load is exactly what it sounds like it is. It's a pretend aerial, but it's perfect. So it's a 1-to-1 SWR. Now we'll get the aerial. And we'll annoy somebody on channel 40 CEPT. So there'll be somebody in Germany getting it keyed out in a moment. And let's see what it reads now. Oh, it reads the same. Right. Just to throw my theory, but it might have read 1, or it might have read over if it does more than what it shows. So it does. It means absolutely diddly squat. You know, I get comments on some of the videos, some of the on the air tests. You're only pushing out 1 watt. No, I'm not. Oh, you naughty person. You're pushing out 7 watts. No, I'm not. Right, that's page 3 done with. Page 4. We're now on to receive, so we're going to stay on CPT channel 40. So we need to dial in what frequency. It's off the top of my head, it's 27405. And all this test gear has got to be put back into UK mode next time I use it. I know it only takes 2 minutes, but it's... Of course, we used to have Marconi 2955Bs, and you've got memories on those, but I went back to this one, which is earlier, 2951, isn't it? Because it was too slow. You may have got menus, you know, memories, you know, and as I say, you could whip into a different channel quickly, but because these modern instruments are digitized, the needle which is waving around at the moment, these are on screens that are digitized, so it's a just wait while it catches up. The latency is frustrating. Our spectrum analyzer is probably about as good as it gets, but it's still got latency. Right, so we're going to do the receive, and they have you do this on AM, and that's sensible because it's easier to do. I could actually do it with an audio meter instead of the expense of a synad meter. So we'll do what they say, and we'll do it on AM. I'll have to plug the extension speaker back in, won't I? Did I put it in the right one? This is constantly going on and off, this set. You know what I reckon it is? It's this buck fuse, isn't it? Surely. No. Right, so we want... So we want to be back in AM. Right now, in AM, it's doing AM 40 CPT. It's doing naught. It's nothing like as good. It's doing 2.2 microvolts for 12 dB. So L101. 103. These aren't really adjustable, to be honest. 4 and 5, 7, 8, and 12, which is there. So I'll drop the signal. Not that you have to as much on AM, because the receiver doesn't saturate like it would on FM. Let's see if we can get somewhere. They're not adjustable, whatever it thinks, they're factory adjustable. Eight. And what was it from 8? 12. And 12 is that one. So that's our AM. 2.2. It's not no change in the sign out. So I think we'll switch to FM. I'm just going to recheck this FM. And then let's have a look at. No, that's fine. Where it was is correct. So now we do the L109 for the FM. L109 is that one. So that's your AM detector, that's the FM detector. So once 100 microvolt signal, we'll look at the oscilloscope. Keep turning the squelch for the volume. We'll switch to the oscilloscope, which didn't happen. We'll switch to the oscilloscope and see if we've got maximum recovered audio. It was already spot on. Good. Squelch. You know what? They're exactly what I say, 100 microvolts. Right, squelch to full. So we'll switch over to the attenuator, and I want, with the squelch on full, I want it to open at 100 microvolts. 1, 3, 10, 30. It thought about it. 100. I want a bit more than that. So RV131. (131) is there. There we go. So that's made the squelch a little less harsh. And now we'll turn it to the opposite end, turn the squelch down without going into auto squelch or whatever it is. And we'll turn the signal generator to standby, set the squelch to threshold. Now we'll switch the signal generator back on. Excellent. So it's coming in at 0.65 of a microvolt, and it's leaving at 0.51. So a modernish set with a manual squelch like this, I know it's got this auto one as well, is actually better than some of the most of the older sets. That's the only thing going. Once you start having squelches in menus, well, I give up, I tell you. So, out of interest, well, we'll see whether it mentions the auto squelch further on. So that's done page 4. Now we're on to page 5. Receive signal. They want it to be 100 microvolts. So, yeah, we agree with that as well. So, the meter's adjustable. It's there. It's a bit generous at the moment. Three, 5, 7. Oh, they're in twos, these. You can't actually set them individually. What a con. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like having 5 LEDs on. You remember it got the baby middles with 4, and you think it was a bit. This it looks like it's got 10, but it hasn't. So I've set it so it's just S9 at there, and that's it. You can't go further than that. So that didn't need adjusting either. And that takes us back to there. So that's all done as per the manual. Don't know where. Oh, it's there. Because it was see-through, I couldn't see it. So let's see how we've improved the sensitivity as far as FM goes. And remember, we've done this in the middle of the band. Alright, switch that to the synod meter. Well, I'll tell you what, it sounds more lively, and it wasn't that bad anyway. So we've now got it to 0.74 microvolts. So that's where we got it to. So that's done. Let's just have a quick look at power. It's 3.2 when cold. There we are, we're done. And it doesn't tell you anything about setting the auto squelch up, so we'll switch it on and see when it comes in. Comes in at 1 microvolt, leaves at 0.75. So it's just another preset setting. Might suit some people. So unlike the one Mark had, it's not microphonic, but keep it out of the damp, because it potentially can be. Now we're going to put some Servicol switch cleaner into this volume control because it's noisy, even though it's not very old. It doesn't look like anybody's had the cigarettes in it, but it certainly sounds like it's had 20 years of cigarettes in it. I'll just see if there's a date on this. Version 2.3. Anyway, I'll take a photo of this for our reference. and then we'll have to switch it back to UK. Right, so that's done my black and white photo, and I've coloured in the exciting bits, and we've got the VCO in yellow, the retransmit in red, and the receive in green. All we've got to do now is put it back together.